So these two scenarios, scenario number one, I have said we can have abnormal high levels of estrogen. And number two, we can have normal levels of estrogen, but too low levels of progesterone. In these two scenarios, we will have estrogen dominance, like estrogen is too high in the two scenarios. And these scenarios can be evident in pregnancy, and that's why women who are pregnant are prone to yeast infections. Most of pregnant women will have yeast infection, recurrent yeast infections, because this hormone estrogen alters the normal balance of your vaginal flora, what we have called albicans in your vagina. So once the level is elevated, once it's too high, then the normal balance is altered. Another scenario whereby we can have estrogen dominance is when women use oral contraceptives, hormonal contraceptives, the pills, and also hormonal implants, and also we have hormonal IUDs, the coil. So these are two scenarios whereby we can have estrogen dominance, pregnancy, and hormonal contraceptives. Before I continue, I want to let you know that the goal of treating hormonal imbalance is not to raise the levels of progesterone, but to lower estrogen. That should be our primary goal. Although depending on various circumstances, the factors that led to the hormonal imbalance, our goal can shift to raising the levels of progesterone if they are too low. But our primary goal should be aimed at lowering the levels of estrogen, because we are dealing with estrogen dominance. That is our concern, okay? And therefore, how can we lower estrogen? We are going to employ mechanisms to bring estrogen down. And number one is dietary changes. And dietary changes, number one is reducing intake of sugar. Avoiding diets that are rich in high sugar content. Do you know why? The flora in your vagina, the albicans in your vagina, feed on sugar. So once you feed on sugar excessively, you are providing substrate, okay? The sugar is acting as a substrate. It's becoming as food for the bacteria, and therefore they are going to thrive. So reduce sugar intake. Reduce foods that are rich in high sugar content. Avoid sugar. Reduce sugar intake. I insist on this. Number two is avoid alcohol, because alcohol interferes with hormone production. Okay. The other thing is avoid processed foods. There are so many processed foods, canned food, canned meat. So avoid them. Another dietary change is, you should feed on animal proteins rather than the plant proteins. Do you know why? Plant proteins don't have the 9 essential amino acids, but animal proteins contain the 9 essential amino acids. So you can reduce foods that are rich in high sugar content, and you can feed on animal proteins, and you are good to go. Maybe I need to clarify this. Like, avoid sugars. Anything that is rich in sugar, avoid it. Another thing about dietary changes, one sure way of lowering estrogen is fasting. Because when you are fasting, it's like your body is being restored to factory setting. The body is going to, okay, you are depriving the body of glucose. But when you are fasting, the body is going to exhaust the glucose reserves, the energy reserves in your body. The sugar in your body is going to be broken. It's going to be utilized. And there will be no buildup of sugar in your body. So fasting is a very sure way. You can come up with a fasting plan. I know many people fast because of spiritual reasons. But see now, fasting is also important for lowering estrogen. So fasting is important. Another thing is increasing fiber intake, because fiber helps in elimination of estrogen. It promotes estrogen elimination. So increase fiber. Vegetables, fruits, they are very rich in fiber. So increase fiber intake. Reduce sugar, avoid alcohol, and avoid processed foods. And also it's advisable you take animal products, animal proteins, and also fasting, because you are reducing sugar. Are you getting the points? The other thing that you can do to reduce estrogen is avoiding what we call xenoestrogens. Xenoestrogens are chemicals that mimic estrogen. Like they are chemicals, they are environmental chemicals that act like estrogen. And one of the sources of this xenoestrogen are found in perfumes. You'll see ladies spraying themselves very strong perfumes. Those are xenoestrogens. Another source is skincare products. Skincare products. Maybe you have your own skincare product routine, yeah, skincare routine, whereby you want to use every product in the market, because there is a new product that has just been released into circulation. You want to exploit. Those are xenoestrogens. Like once you apply them on your skin, you spray them on your skin, they are going to act like estrogen. So you are going to add more estrogen to your system, and we are going to have estrogen dominance. And we have seen what estrogen does, okay? You have also seen another source of xenoestrogen is plastic containers. You have seen ladies buying containers and putting water and adding maybe some juices and maybe carrying the plastics around the workplace and just to sound they are civilized. You are not being civilized, because those plastic containers have xenoestrogens. So avoid them. And additional prevention, I said good vaginal hygiene. Wash your vagina very well. Avoid misuse of antibiotics. Use underwears that are made of cotton. Yeah, that is very important. And also probiotics. Probiotics like what? Yogurt is very important because it has artificial lactobacillus. And lastly, I want to say something about the treatment. The common medication used is pessaries, the clotrimazole pessaries that is being inserted on your vagina. And also we can have oral fluconazole, 150 mg. So these are some of the medications that you can be given. But I emphasize on the prevention. Avoid sugar, avoid xenoestrogens, and the other things that I've discussed. Ladies, I hope this information was useful to you. In case of clarifications, kindly, you can ask me. In case there is something that was not clear to you, you can ask me. So avoid those plastics you are using to carry water around, drinking everywhere. You are in the office, you are in the class, drinking from that bottle. It's a xenoestrogen. My name is Ishmael Mbidi, the founder and the director of MIVHT, Mtumishi Ishmael Volunteer Talks. God bless you. See you in my next video. Shalom.